Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. And let me say good morning to the I'm just only saying good morning to Jermaine. I'm not saying good morning to everybody. Hey, Clark on the other side.
Good morning to Clark. To your husband.
Hey, I hear you, bruh. Good morning, Mr. Ride Out. How are you this morning? Let me clear my throat.
Well, this morning, I woke up with my mind
stayed on what?
Stayed on Jesus. And I also woke up this morning with a great feeling in my body. Yeah. One thing I know is God is a true yes. It's offering time.
It's offering time.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all we get.
How you get to God is true?
Yeah, I was gonna finish it up,
time?
but I decided to close the door.
No, you supposed to open the doors of the church.
I just pulled my Marvin
What
Sapp.
kind of money grab is that?
Close the doors.
Dude,
Lock the door.
you know, people getting nestled in, getting ready to stand up, wave their handkerchief.
Yeah, I thought he was getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah,
hey man, I had to really let it go.
Getting all tuned up.
I had to really let it go because I started to feel that thing.
Pass the collection plate.
Yeah, I started to feel that thing.
No, if you're at the new churches, go to the barcode.
Look on your screen.
Look on your screen. Scan the code.
Give a 5.
And give us your life savings.
No, but I felt that thing though, man. That thing was,
I mean, you had me going for a second.
I felt that thing. That
got
thing was bubbling in my soul.
On. You was about to do it.
Yeah.
I was waiting on you.
The
face. I can't stand you. Wait, let's see. Somebody said Jermaine is going straight to hell.
why they put me in hell? I could be practicing for my next career.
I'm just saying, bruh.
I'm
practicing. All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Deacon Do Right.
Yeah, doctor. You see him dressed like a deacon.
Do he get on my nerves?
Up this morning. That's what he look like. He
get on my nerves, man. So we have a luncheon today that starts at 11:30.
Oh.
And members of the station, we got to be there. So I come in looking like I do. Well, suited and booted.
And it's not the loud suit either. I thought about y'all this morning.
We appreciate you.
I'm so glad the suit was over there like, dog, don't wear me today.
Yeah.
Carvey appreciate
you. Yeah, your suit is like Joe in the Deuteronomy.
Stop hollering at the
whisper. Your suit over there whispering, so thank you.
You silly.
Oh, yeah, you know, he gonna stop me like my name is Jackie or something. You must be going home. Like, hey, bro.
Y'all know I'm somebody's granddaddy.
I don't need you to ask me about my clothes and what I'm getting ready to be doing. Like, oh my God, he just started the whole morning off wrong.
No, it was right. I mean,
no, it was not.
What I was doing, what I was attempting to do, Michelle.
What you was doing was getting on my nerves.
Being certain that you hadn't forgotten.
No.
You know, one team, one dream. You know, I just was looking out, sis. That's all.
Because
you know. Jermaine,
what the words is about
the sermon that he gave this morning.
Yes, God bless you. God bless you, Bishop. God bless you.
I love the Lord, he heard my cry.
Yeah, that's the key. Hold on.
The biggest
B flat there, bro.
Devils in the community
forever.
You know,
long as I live and trouble may rise.
You know what? You need to stop.
Stop that thing.
You need to stop.
Woo!
Y'all gonna get enough of
playing. No, I'm serious.
Everybody playing.
No, listen.
Oh, y'all playing.
Listen,
no. Y'all gonna get enough.
Listen.
Biggest
y'all think
heathens
man, y'all think I be
in
playing.
The city.
But it's something about the word.
Nothing.
The Lord.
Won't he do it?
I'm so serious though. It sends chills down my
Sheba.
Sheba.
Not listening.
Sheba.
Send chills down
Sheba.
Chills down my spine. Amen.
Let me move right.
Church announcements.
Silly.
Pass, y'all. Yep, you're right. Let's get to the announcement. We are looking for new production and station management. If you think you can do better than either one of these two,
they ain't gonna be able to do it.
please apply.
Do
414
remember
5253.
Church announcement.
If you are listening right now and shaking your head
Sound like a radio
and saying
broadcast
this
on
is a
Sunday
damn
night.
shame,
No,
I
what they
need you to
saying
call 414
them boys,
52
them the church boys. That's what they
50. I'm just saying, because there's people right now that's trying to drink their coffee or get their little desk together and be like, with all of the calamity in the world, she got to put up with this. People like, look, they ushers at church chicken. Somebody said, oh, that's my son. My son said they ushers at church chicken.
Come on and bring the grease there.
And you know
Bring
what?
some biscuits
You know
there,
what we
son.
say to your son when he leaves? Jump that your chin.
Don't forget to try it.
What do you say the preacher said, Jermaine?
Take the dog. Take it
Y'all
easy.
saying,
Take the teaser.
y'all got folks in Atlanta like,
Take it
this
easy.
is
The dog so
this
been
is
tough to me.
He been what?
He been tough to me. I done took the tongue.
moving right on.
Stop it.
Pass, y'all.
Because somebody.
You know what? And I'm glad y'all said that. I'm glad y'all did your
Ooh, my
whole
stomach hurt.
church antics this morning. Because let me just say this. You know, there continues to be a ton of conversation about the mayor's appointment to run the Office of Wellness and whatever the heck it's called. The old Office of Violence Prevention. Ton of conversation. And I literally just got done engaging with someone on Facebook, someone that I actually like a lot, got a lot of respect for, and who has talked about on this appointment by the mayor, this hire that, and I'm trying to go back and figure out where it was, but just that that maybe Adam Purcell, who is the person that got selected, will work out. That maybe, you know, God's hands is in it, and you know, that we embrace this man and hope for the best and pray for his success. Yeah, I'm not doing that with y'all. I'm not doing that. Don't you say you knew that was coming? I'm just saying. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that with y'all.
Oh my God.
Because first of all, y'all gonna start putting God
Yeah.
in everything. Some of this don't have nothing to do with God. The devil go to church too.
Yeah.
And I also believe in that little piece, God helps those who help themselves. We keep doing stupid stuff and expecting different results and outcomes. We keep electing or appointing or putting people in positions of power and authority who are ill-equipped, under-equipped, not qualified to do those jobs. And then talking about let's embrace people, wrap our arms around. I'm not doing that. While I pay you six figures too. So I'm going to pay a hefty salary for incompetence or being underqualified or people sitting in jobs that they don't have no business sitting in. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's the mentality though of too many people in this city. I said it yesterday, the willingness to accept mediocrity. And then talking about we're going to pray on it. You pray on it. I'm not doing that because Jesus gave me good sense. There are some things you ain't got to call on God for. He busy. It's hurricanes. It's all kind of stuff going on. He's trying to figure out how he going to deal with this man in the White House. He busy. And so he gives us the wherewithal to be able to help ourselves. So trotting Jesus out when we consistently are making mistakes is madness to me. I ain't gonna. Yeah, okay.
I love it.
I'm just saying.
Won't he do it?
I love it.
We gotta stop that, y'all. You know, I listened to George when he called in yesterday to Keith show. You know, me and George cool. He said, I just really only disagree with Michelle on the Mandela Barnes situation because I think it was personal. You know, and I say it for the record, Mandela Barnes, they never did a thing to me in my life. I've never done anything to him. It's not personal. This is business. And business requires competent, qualified people who have deliverables and receipts. And when you sit in an office for 4 years and don't have a single receipt to show for you being in the room, I cannot tell how my life is any better because you had that damn job. I need to do something different. I don't care what the other external costs are. I'm not going to promote incompetence. I'm not going to promote mediocrity. I'm not going to promote black folks that don't have black folks at the top of their mind. In your hiring decisions, in your offices, in your appointments, in your I'm not interested in messaging bills and saying stuff to make people feel good. What did you do? What got accomplished? And see, y'all happy with people smiling in y'all face and patting you on your back and telling you it's going to be all right. Where is the work? Where are the results? Where is the proof? Some things you can't do. But if you've done nothing that I can put my finger on and say, our community is better, stronger, because you were here, and I'm consistent. Whether I'm talking about Mandela, whether I'm talking about David, I'm talking about Chevy, I'm talking about anybody in leadership, black, white, brown, or green. I talk about competency. I talk about performance. I talk about deliverables. I talk about preparedness, education, qualifications. It's the same. If you think about what I say behind this mic, about all of the different topics and people I bring up, it's the same conversation. Where can I go and look for your accomplishments? Not just getting elected, but what happened once you got elected? Where's the program you spearheaded, the initiative you drove, the thing that got done for this community that was something that we all could benefit from or somebody could benefit from? Where are those things? Nobody's going to tell me that they believe that a black man who was convicted of murder, whether he did it or not, he got convicted of it, did 20 years, then catches another 3 years for whooping a CO or whatever he did to that person. And his name was Shakur Muhammad, would be sitting down there getting ready to possibly make 6 figures for the city of Milwaukee. Tell that to your mama. You don't bring that to me. That's not how this go. Brothers and sisters never get these opportunities unless white folks handpick you and then push you through. And then they find black folks who they also have pushed through to push their agenda. Somebody said, well, Michelle, we got black leaders everywhere. I keep telling y'all, just because you see a black face sitting in that office, don't mean it's a black person calling them shots. That's an uncomfortable truth. But just because you see black folks sitting in these seats and in positions of power, and this is not Milwaukee, this is all over the country, it does not mean that they driving the ship every time. Now, in some cases, absolutely. But in far too many, it's the donors, the funders, the supporters that's moving the train. And we just are the conductor out front, but we don't see who owns the train company. So when I say y'all gonna stop with Jesus is gonna help us and we gonna pray, what do we say about these shootings with these babies in these schools. And y'all look at Republicans and say, thoughts and prayers ain't good enough. Democrats, I'm going to need you to take some of your own medicine. Thoughts and prayers for somebody to get into a position that we don't know jack nay nothing about for real. Because great reentry work. This job is not just reentry. How many people have you supervised? What budgetary experience do you have? What is the largest amount of money you've had to handle? How are you at contracts, contract negotiation, grants, monitoring a grant, seeing it through to its conclusion, deliverables, reporting? Because he already wasn't ready for prime time when he stood up with the mayor there talking about, I'm going to apply pressure, and if he don't like it, he can fire me. He stood up talking about, I'm a Democrat. What that got to do with your job? Why did you feel the need to say that? And then, the police need to get paid more money. Clearly, Negro, if you knew how to read a budget, you would understand these are some of the best paid city workers that we have in Milwaukee. And with overtime, you got many of them making over $100,000. But they need to be paid more. They have more rights as a workforce than any other city worker. But that's what you come in the building on. That, we need to be focused on making sure the police get paid more money. I'm not a Democrat. And I'm going to apply pressure. Boy, you don't go somewhere and sit down? I'm not trying to hear none of this. This ain't got nothing to do with no prayers. This is about consistently and continuously making bad decisions. Making bad decisions. And we famous for it. And this whole lack of transparency in this process, you got to look at the mayor sideways and be like, Chevy, what the hell is you on? What's going on? Common council members were kept in the dark. Ain't nobody seen a resume down there. They finding out for the most part when we finding out, maybe a little bit of time beforehand. But this whole thing is just rushed through. That office is functioning. It wasn't dire that this happened this immediately. So y'all gone with them thoughts and prayers, man. And that's another reason why they should have the separation between church and state. Because thoughts and prayers ain't going to line up in government work. You need people who have the values, those Christian values that, most people agree, okay, these is the ones that's accepted, helping to drive and bringing that compassion and that whatever it is to work. But that's why we have a separation of church and state. And that's why we look at Republicans when these kids getting shot up in these classrooms and saying that thoughts and prayers, and we looking like, no, you need some legislation and some policy. You need to get these guns out of the hands of these kids. You need to change those I can't think of the name of them, where you can convert a gun and make it an automatic weapon versus, having to constantly keep pulling the trigger. Bump stocks. No, there are things we can do to make our children safer that don't include thoughts and prayers. Where is the policy and the action? So and I get tired of it. Somebody not qualified. I have people calling to the show. Well, we just need to pray and get by. You do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then when we don't get any better, nothing different, nothing changes, we still at the top of this list. Then you're looking around like, what's wrong? Some of it is you. I was at a session yesterday where people were talking about working on the issue of Office of Violence Prevention. And the group I was in, we had to come up with strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in terms of the success of getting violence in our city under control. And one of the young men who was at our table, when we talked about one of the threats, he said, it's us. We're a threat to ourselves. Because what we are willing to accept and what we are willing to overlook and what we are willing to do or not acknowledge and not be honest about. I just had to lean back in the chair. He said, us. We are a threat to us. When we are complicit and go along and come up with a rationale and it's the best we can do, y'all. Yeah, I can't keep doing this with y'all. So I got to go to break. But it's funny that the bros was doing that this morning because I was literally texting that as I came to take my seat to start the show this morning. God helps those also who helps themselves. He gives us what we need in many cases to look out for ourselves, our families, our communities. I can't sit around waiting for the Lord to pay my mortgage and my rent if I don't get up off my butt and go do something too. I can't get a city that functions well if I keep allowing these people to give us subpar, underqualified people and, people rallying. And a lot of people don't know nothing about this man outside of some damn reentry work. I'm not here for it. I'll be right back.
Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. In the commercial break, you may have heard the advertisement for this month's upcoming community brainstorming meeting that is happening on August 23rd on Saturday, and talking about the continued ongoing conversation about the treatment of women and girls, particularly Black women and girls, in relationship to human trafficking, domestic violence, and just a myriad of issues. Whether we look at, what ended up happening to Sade Robinson, or the commission or the study commission that's being sought by state legislators, spearheaded by State Representative Sheila Stubbs, around missing Black women and girls. There continues to be a pervasive group of folks that are intent on assaulting, attacking, taking advantage of women and girls, Black women and girls in particular. And the way the overall community, law enforcement, and people respond, has made people step back and take note. The group through Milwaukee County's the Human Trafficking Task Force of Greater Milwaukee, and I interviewed and talked with Dana World Patterson as a part of this upcoming session. They have worked really hard to bring together people at every level of this game on Saturday to talk about solutions, the work to update people. We've come a long way since this whole thing was started in terms of this particular core group with the city and the county almost 17 years ago. I had to think about that when I was talking to somebody who was like, it's been how long? And so if you get an opportunity, I hope that you will encourage you to go to community brainstorming. The information, the conversation is going to not only be interesting, but useful as we are preparing for a new school year and the different things that have to go on, and got young people moving around. Right now it's summer, folks out the way, and people start trolling and preying on our folks. So you want to make sure that you attend, get that information. You can take it back to your respective organizations, church, family, and be able to tell people what you learned. A couple of things I need to do. We talked about FEMA hitting the city today. Okay. And one of the things that the person from the county who was on the phone with me yesterday said, they wanted to make sure that people understood nobody's coming bearing gifts and money today. That's not what's happening. They're coming in to do the assessment, to see if we've hit that financial threshold, to assess the damage that's been done across the area, and figure out if they will be making that recommendation to the at the federal level, to the president, to declare any state of emergency so that it will trigger the resources available from FEMA. In some cases, a lot of folks are finding out that their policies will not cover some of the damage that's been done in their home, and FEMA may be the only actual assistance that some people end up getting. One of the things, though, and I appreciate the Journal Sentinel this morning in the paper, it was mentioned by the sister from the county yesterday, who talked about making sure people are not being taken advantage of, that you are possibly have scam artists coming through and would be susceptible to folks trying to get money out of your hands. So a couple of things. The article, I'm not going to do the whole article, but I'm going to pull out some of the major points. If anybody from FEMA comes to your door, they will have an ID badge. You will get their name. There will be a photo on that badge. You need to look at that information thoroughly and carefully before you make any decisions to let anybody into your house or you share any of your personal information. But FEMA wants you to know that there are some people that have been cold with it. Scamming is an art form. They actually have made fake badges. They have FEMA branded clothing. So they got the official polo on with the FEMA logo and the ID. And you like, well, Michelle, you told me to look for the ID with the photo and the name, and they had the shirt on. If you are uneasy, call the non-emergency number for the police department. You can call FEMA directly. There is an 800 number, 800-621-3362 to check if this is a legitimate employee of FEMA. 800-621-3362. FEMA will never, ever, ever, ever charge a fee for a home inspection, disaster assistance, debris removal, grants, help with applications, or appeals. They will never, never, never. Oh, somebody said it was an emergency breakthrough restart. Okay. What I'm saying for folks on FEMA, they will never ask you for a dime. No money out of your pocket. Don't give anybody your personal banking information. FEMA, if you start seeing people getting calls or text messages talking about they from FEMA, but you haven't even applied for disaster assistance, that is likely a scam. The agency only contacts people who have contacted FEMA, apply for assistance, and they won't send you text messages again asking for money or personal information. If you receive a letter from FEMA, but you did not apply for assistance, you should call the helpline, 800-621-3362. That line is open between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. our time. FEMA inspectors will never ask you for your 9-digit registration number because it's already in their records. They're not asking you for Social Security information, banking information. Remember, none of that. The other thing I'll just quickly say they did a great job on is talking about door-to-door contractors, people coming through telling you they are repair crew, they got permits, getting you to sign a written contract before they leave and before the work can be done. Like, you got to be very, very careful with who you are contracting with to come in and do damage remediation in your home. In terms of the auto repair shops, DATCAP offers the names of many tips for people who need auto body service after a flood damaged vehicle. In terms of how you're working with your insurance company, trusted sources, getting people with recommendations before you send your car to anybody, people telling you they did work that they did not do. So you have got to protect yourself because there are always people looking to take advantage of folks in a crisis or an emergency situation. If you suspect fraud, one of the things you can do to help us weed it out, help them weed it out, is you can either go online, stop FEMA fraud at fema.dhs.gov. Again, stop FEMA fraud at fema.dhs.gov. Or just go to the FEMA website and you should be able to find a tab on there about reporting fraud. Or you can call a phone number. You can file a complaint with the State Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection here in Wisconsin. That's DATCAP. By calling 1-800-422-7128. 1-800-422-7128. If any of this comes up, Michelle, I didn't write any of those numbers down. I didn't hear half of the stuff you said on it. Call the station, leave your phone number, and let us know what you need, and we'll call you back to point you in the right direction. So I appreciate the Journal Sentinel for flagging that and making sure that people are aware of what's going on. Now, staying local for just another moment, I want to talk real quickly because a lot of people saw that money is now being released from the state that had been held because reports had not been filed on time by Milwaukee Public Schools. So the announcement of $16 million being released was made yesterday, day before. The announcement that an additional 20-something million that had been held is set to be released. And so we are getting back on track in terms of getting those critically needed dollars back into the hands of, or to the district, hands of the district, to be able to provide the services that those dollars were intended for. But again, Journal Sentinel appreciated some work that was done in relationship to K-12 schools, with all of the pressure that the Trump administration has been applying in relationship to the Department of Education. Policies, we don't want people using pronouns. We had gotten to a point where, people would sign their name, or you'll be on a Zoom call in a meeting and somebody say, introduce yourself. My name is Michelle. My pronouns are she, her, and something else, to indicate I identify as a female. Somebody else, his. Some people say my pronouns are they, because non-binary, I'm not committing male, female, I'm they. So all those kinds of things have been in play. So one of the things that the Journal Sentinel did was this article talking about, as kids are returning to school this school year, what some of these changes mean or look like. So the Trump administration intends to ban classroom lessons about systemic racism. Okay. I was with and attended a panel discussion with Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, who is the person that people most frequently attach critical race theory to. All right. Kimberly Crenshaw, Dr. Crenshaw went to college in Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin, Madison. And when I was in Martha's Vineyard, she convened multiple discussions and talked about all of this stuff from a legal framework. These were not conversations that were intended for K-12 classrooms. Never has been. Never has been. But the Trump administration is intending to ban any discussion about systemic racism in classrooms. They want to cancel diversity, equity, inclusion programs, eliminate gender inclusion policies for LGBTQ plus students, open schools to immigration enforcement, and more. Again, I have given the example time and time again. Equity and inclusion are about so much more than race and people of color. It is about people that are differently abled. It is about kids who need different learning tools and resources. It is about accommodations being made for people that have different needs. And how you have a president and a party that could be against phrases like inclusion. We don't want everybody included unless they're going to look and act and talk and be exactly like us or do what we tell them to do. And we don't want people around that value themselves, that value their history. Now, mind you, we value ours. Ours is important. White Republicans, white evangelicals, we gonna, elevate our stuff to the rafters. But if you're someone that values your culture, your race, your contributions to this country, we're not interested in having you around. So how all these things are going to play out in classrooms, the story says is murky, especially in Wisconsin and other states which are immersed in lawsuits challenging the administration's policies. But here's where Wisconsin schools have seen the effects of federal changes so far. The article says it's worth noting that education at the federal level right now is fluid. Changes happen unpredictably and often, which characterizes every single thing about Donald Trump's leadership style. Unpredictable. Changes happen unpredictably and often, and can be reversed just as quickly because he's incompetent. So when they talk about what that looks like, let's see real quick. What can I run us through? The Department of Ed sent that Dear Colleague letter to state education departments telling them what the government stance is on DEI. It says schools have, quote, toxically indoctrinated students with false premise that the United States is built upon systemic and structural racism. Of course it is. Stop playing. So DEI, obviously big. In February, the federal government directed states to sign an agreement on DEI or risk losing federal funding. States were asked to certify that they won't break anti-discrimination laws through the use of DEI programs. Educational officials in at least 25 states, including Wisconsin, refused to sign that document back in February. Some Wisconsin districts took steps to comply anyway. They include the Green Bay School District, which removed mentions of diversity from job descriptions and policies, and several Fox Valley districts. Several lawsuits, including one Wisconsin joined as a plaintiff, have challenged the attempts by the administration to end these DEI programs. The latest decision on August 14th was an opinion from a district judge in Maryland who ruled against federal officials, meaning schools don't have to follow the Trump administration's interpretation of civil rights law. However, these cases are still moving through the court system. So, one of Trump's campaign promises was that he wanted to eliminate the Department of Education. We know that they have cut staffing severely, gutted the budget in a lot of places, and Wisconsin is one of the states that is suing in response to those attempts to change the Department of Education so drastically. So with the smaller workforce, concerns about the federal government's ability to address complaints of alleged racial, sex, or disability-related discrimination in schools. Federal data lists 55 open complaints of discrimination at Wisconsin K-12 schools. This list hasn't been updated since January, but right now we got cases sitting in the hopper and we don't know what's going on. So we need people to understand and appreciate that immigration enforcement is something that they are trying to be able to do. Come up in the school, get access to school records so they can figure out if there are undocumented children, which means undocumented parents most likely. They can follow these kids home from school, try to figure out how to arrest people. You know, we heard about parents being arrested at their kids' graduations and leaving the kids trying to flee to keep from being deported. So the immigration piece is going to be critical. The other thing I'll say real quickly is the funding. Funding for certain grant programs are being what they call reviewed. This money typically would have come down July 1st. It's not scheduled to arrive on time. Among those affected programs, the ones that support migrant children, after school programs for children in high poverty schools. Wisconsin is among one of the states, again, that filed a lawsuit in response to this. Funding has since been released in full for some of the critical areas, but education leaders across the U.S. are unsure whether they would need to cut jobs and programs. The federal review froze about 14% of federal education funding for states and territories. For other programs, funding has been cut for good. For example, Wisconsin lost the majority of a $10 million grant intended to expand mental health staffing in K-12 schools. The Trump administration cut the majority of a $10 million grant intended to expand mental health staffing in K-12. I was in meetings yesterday, and when people were talking about issues we were facing as a community, mental health came up repeatedly. Targeting transgender youth, gender identity policies, I've already talked about that. And just so we are also clear, when we talk about systemic racism and other race-related topics, the way U.S. history is going to be taught in schools is unclear. And remember, traditionally, Texas has led the way on textbooks that were used in classrooms. I don't know what that looks like today, but traditionally, that's how it had gone. And so Trump has this skewed racist ideology about what we need to understand about the history of this country. We see the attacks on the Smithsonian, in which they are saying, they just make slavery seem like it was the worst thing in the world. They talk so badly about America. Two things can be true. You were bad. You did do slavery. Slavery was God freaking awful. And can you close that door for me? And you are trying to right the ship. But let's not run from the history. So there was an executive order, discriminatory equity ideology, which teaches that the U.S. is fundamentally racist, sexist, or otherwise discriminatory. It was sexist. Women could legally be beaten by their husbands at one time in this country like a damn animal. Women could not get a credit card in their own name well into the 60s, early 70s. Your husband had to sign for you to have a bank account. You couldn't own land in your own name in some cases. So it was sexist. It has always been a patriarchal society, meaning men rule the day. Women are still paid less than their male counterpart, even though they do the exact same freaking job. And you would have companies say, but he got a family to take care of. Like she didn't, or she doesn't. So all of this old white man nonsense about what this country is and what lies you want told to prop up, the hard fact that you don't want to face reality and look in the mirror and tell the truth. Like, I'm so done with these people. But he told y'all he was going to make it better for y'all. And it's some of y'all, even some of y'all who listening to me talk right now, who bought it. Federal Head Start. They closed several Head Start offices. Head Start provides child care, access to health care, among other services to low-income families. Closure of the Chicago office, which oversaw Wisconsin programs, will likely affect Head Start programs across Wisconsin's approximately 240 locations. It's one of the most chaotic times to operate a Head Start program, said one of the executive directors of the said the executive director of the Wisconsin Head Start Association. Why would you mess with Head Start? Like, we keep talking about we want to bring jobs back to America, which means we need a trained and educated workforce. And because of the automation and technological advancements, we gonna need people that are capable and smart, not just, push a button, if you're going to have any kind of real quality paying jobs. Why would you mess with Head Start? We got children in this country who did nothing wrong, whose parents brought them here illegally as babies, as toddlers, and they are now in our education systems. But what do we want to do? We want to remove support for English language learner programs. So these kids are functioning. They themselves did nothing wrong. They need to learn English to function in our society. And we want to remove some of the programs intended to support them from learning how to speak English. There were just over 55,000 Wisconsin students categorized as English language learners in the 24-25 school year, according to DPI. 55,000. So when we start talking about how we're going to cut and reduce services, this makes a huge, huge difference. All right. Let me just see this one text that came through real quick, and then I got a phone call. Okay, I'll be right there, caller. SERJOB, SCRJOB, job program funding has not been released from the Department of Labor. This is that senior employment training program, and only 6 states have this program, and Wisconsin is one of them. The funding, the last day in June. And so, and you know what? I'm actually familiar with Surge Job. I got to pull it back up. But so we're being impacted, y'all. So he told folks he was going to make y'all life better. He was going to make America great again. He was going to save y'all. He was going to, it's going to be a big, beautiful country and everybody's going to be working. But you lie and run from the jobs report. You can't cut the kind of number of jobs that you've cut at the federal level. And when the job reports come out, tell people they lying and fire them. Because the people that you let go have not found jobs. One cut after another. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to go back a couple subjects though.
Okay.
When you were talking about people preying on these young kids, I don't think they even realize there's a universal law out there, and the universal law don't have no respect to situation. That's for anybody, whatever you do to people, it will come back to you. And as far as the Trump, you know how dumb Trump is. I think Trump is so dumb that he even failed first grade. They probably just passed him on to first grade just to get rid of him. I'm saying, like, he even failed kindergarten. So they just passed him on to first grade to get rid of him.
Look, you're not going to get a whole lot of argument. Thank you, bro, for the call. I appreciate it. He has been one that has not been willing to really talk about his academic record. I believe that he was able to get into the college that he attended because of finance and money, and the influence of parents. When people talk about preferential treatment, I'm sure he got preferential treatment, because there's nothing about the way he engages right now that indicates you should be getting into an Ivy League school. Zero. Thank you, bro, for the call. I appreciate it. And so let's take a moment then, because one of the things that's in front of us, the big conversations, is what happened in Texas last night. So I just want to be clear as I preface this comment before I go to break. This man, Trump, calls the governor of Texas to say, I need you to help me cheat to gain more votes and control in the House of Representatives. I need you to deny Black and brown voters, Democratic voters, access to representation. I want you to steal their seats from them, their representatives, their members of Congress. And that Jasmine Crockett with her big mouth, I need her to be drawn out of the district that she represents right now. I need Jasmine Crockett to go away. And the Supreme Court has helped us, because they've said if you draw district lines based on racism, that's illegal. But if you draw district lines to benefit your political party over another, there's nothing wrong with that. And you want to look at the dumb Supreme Court justices who would make that argument. So I just want to be clear. So we got 2 youth baseball teams playing here in Milwaukee. And I changed the rules of the game that will benefit the home team from this north side of Milwaukee. There's nothing wrong with that, because it wasn't for racism. It was because I played for a different team. So we able to change the rules that your home run must include you tapping 5 bases. My home run, because I'm the home team, I only got to tap 4 bases. But it's not based on racism. It's based on which team you play for. And that's what the Supreme Court said in this decision. You can discriminate as long as you're doing it to help your political team. You can cheat as long as you're doing it to help the political team you play for if your team happens to be in power at the time. Think about that for a second. And as I said, it's de facto racism, because if the majority of Black people lean Democrat, and you've said it's illegal, it's legal for Republicans to draw lines that exclude Democrats from actually being able to elect anybody to Congress, then de facto, and that's a real word, de facto, you have allowed racism to happen. It just was done under another name. And the Republicans in Texas all voted unanimously last night to take away representation from members of their state who pay taxes, who, contribute to the state's well-being. Because they live there, the state even has the number of seats that they have in Congress. But you got these white Republicans, maybe one or two Blacks, I don't know how many Black Republicans they got in Texas, who have looked at Black and brown people in Texas and said, no, y'all don't deserve to be in the building. No, y'all don't deserve to have a fair fighting shot at electing the people you want to represent you. Yeah, we're going to cheat y'all out of y'all vote. Because that's what they did. So the man who cheats all the time, he cheats at golf, he cheats, hardworking people out of their money, going to his fake university. He cheats on his taxes. He cheats on loan applications. He cheated on his show, The Apprentice, when he didn't want that Black man to win. And so he changed the rules so that the white girl who came in number 2 could co-manage the company with the brother that won. He cheats on his wife. He cheats business contractors. This is who's running our country. And this is who the white evangelicals and the good old boys and the good old fake, I almost said some Christians that ride on that side. This is who y'all behind. This man has cheated in every aspect. He cheated in terms of military service, getting a doctor to say he had bone spurs. He's cheated his entire life. And y'all keep rewarding him. I got to take a break. I'll be right back.
Keeping Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
Texas Republicans are touting a win this morning. The House passed the party's redistricting plan after a weeks-long deadlock sparked by Democrats breaking quorum. Today, the maps, which could add up to 5 new GOP-leaning districts, head to the state Senate. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle were sharply divided on this bill moving forward.
There's no account for values, and that's what's most important. The people of Texas have spoken. In the last several cycles, minority voters are trending Republican, and that is how this map is drawn. It's perfectly legal. Of course, they're going to take us to court, but we will win.
We're going to shout that we won't back down. We're going to continue to move forward, and we're going to continue to fight. Because when we fight, we win.
And CBS News Executive Director of White House and Politics, Finn Gomez, joins us now. Finn, good morning. So now that the redistricting bill is heading to a vote, how soon could it make it to Governor Abbott's desk?
Michael, yeah, it will happen fast. It could happen as early as today or tomorrow. The new congressional maps that would add those 5 Republican-friendly seats to the Texas congressional map now goes to the Texas Senate, which is also dominated by Republicans. It then goes to Abbott, who has been pushing for this redraw, and the Republican has made no doubt that he will sign this new map. Important to remember that this all really started from the White House. President Trump has been very public about his call for Texas Republicans to make these changes and posted about it last night on social media. He said it was a big win for the great state of Texas. Everything passed on our way to 5 more congressional seats and saving your rights, your freedoms, and your country itself. Texas never lets us down. Florida, Indiana, and others are looking to do the same thing. As you see there, Michael, the president pushing for other Republican-led states to take Texas's lead to add more Republican seats in their respective states, an effort ahead of next year's midterms to offset any expected Democratic gains, which could potentially impact the balance of power in Congress, Michael.
Now, Finn, let's talk about other states and specifically about California. Democrats got their own win in court over a redistricting plan to counter Texas Republicans. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. The state Supreme Court rejected an initial legal challenge brought by Republicans, really what could have been the last major hurdle for that Democratic supermajority in the state, led by Governor Gavin Newsom, to get this special election to counterpunch Texas Republicans and potentially add 5 Democratic-friendly seats. So to appear on the ballot, the measure must pass both legislative houses in the state with a 2/3 supermajority. The state legislature is on track to establish that special election in November for voters to approve these changes. This could happen as early as today to set that election. California Republicans are gearing up to fight these new maps, Michael, raising money for their campaign to counter Newsom's proposed changes. But California Democrats that I spoke to feel bullish that they can do this, implement this new plan. Unlike Texas, where Governor Abbott's signature will seal the deal, in the Golden State, it needs to be placed in front of voters.
All right, Finn Gomez, thanks for joining us.
All right, folks. So I just wanted you to hear in terms of how quickly all of this is going to be on track. In a conversation I had on yesterday, someone said, but Michelle, in California, the voters got to, vote for that. And by the time I said that vote is coming up in November, they're going to be able to get this on the ballot in California in November. But you also heard in that reporting, in that clip from CBS, that now Indiana, Florida, because Florida is pushing for another congressional seat to be added because of increased population. And all of this is coming off the back of minorities, off people of color. Texas got more representatives because of people of color. But that was a Mexican legislator or Hispanic legislator from Texas when that clip first played that said more minority voters are turning Republican. That was a Hispanic Latino woman who was saying that. So we're going to just go ahead and cheat and move the lines to make it easier for them to vote for Republicans, if that's what you believe. Well, if they want to vote for you, they can vote for you. You don't have to change the lines in order for them to be able to vote Republican. This is setting off a firestorm around this country. And for the Democrats who want to sit back and say, we can't do what 2 wrongs don't make a right, but you cannot sit back and do nothing, because we will never, ever see a situation when you got, fair elections. and fair maps if this is allowed to happen. So Cali gets in the game. Indiana gets in the game. New York gets in the game. Florida gets in the game. Minnesota gets in the game. You understand what I'm saying? This ignorant individual in the White House and the silly Republicans who have no backbone to stand up to this clown and who in part clearly must believe the attacks that he is doing on people's basic rights to fair representation, because they've always cheated. They've always cheated. Glenn Grothman, famously, we need voter ID, because if we got voter ID, that means Republicans win, because we making it harder for people to vote, and most of them people that it would be harder to vote for would be Democrats. So this is always the mindset. Now you just got somebody who done took the damn hood off and said, come on, Knights of the KKK, rise up. We back in control. We running things. We about to get this thing back. What did Trump say? I'm protecting your rights, your freedoms, and your country. How are you protecting my rights when you taking away my ability to elect the candidate in my district? So now I got to vote. If I'm living in Milwaukee on 107th and Calumet, now you dragging me over into the Menominee Falls district. So I don't get to pick who I want to represent me and my area. You're drawing the maps in a way that will reduce our ability to elect anybody that represents our issues. But you telling people on a post on social media, I'm protecting your right, your freedom, your country. Caller, here I come. But that is code for I'm protecting white people, white rights, white freedoms, and only white rights, white freedoms if you are a white Republican. And if you happen to be a darkie, Hispanic, Latino, black person, and we've convinced you to drink the Kool-Aid, then you'll benefit from some overflow. Now, you ain't getting no positions in the cabinet other than HUD. You're not getting no positions in the White House. Tell me when last time you seen a black staffer sitting around anywhere up in there. You ain't getting no clout. All them flunky black men that was running around for Trump, yeah, what y'all doing now? You ain't getting no real, power, no juice. But you can get some residuals. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello? Caller?
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
Hey, this order is stamp. But I see Michelle on fire, so I may just have her.
I'm here. You on the line. You live, Alderman.
Oh,
Turn your radio down in the background. Oh. But you are on the air right now.
Oh, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I thought that was, the lady. I was going to tell her Michelle on fire. Let me ask her to make this announcement. But thank you, Michelle. I appreciate the time. I've been listening, and I don't want to change the mood.
Go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, I want to invite people out to, this is Hip Hop Week this week. 7th year, it's not just about music, it's about culture, empowerment, and giving our community real tools for success. So I just want to invite the community out to 2 big events today. The first one is the Job Fair. It's powered by and partnered with Direct Connect MKE with the city of Milwaukee. That's today at noon at Manpower. Manpower is at 100 Manpower Place. And we'll have many employers. They are hiring now. You can meet face-to-face, do interviews right there, opportunities for both immediate employment and long-term careers. So that's today at noon in partnership with Hip Hop Week. And this fulfills our civic engagements and our financial empowerment portion. And Power 2, event 2 is in financial empowerment hosted by Coach Darvin Moore. And that's tonight at 6 p.m., Planting Your Financial Seed, a real talk workshop on understanding credit, a path to home ownership, and smart strategies for building wealth. So that is today, and that is at his location. off Teutonia. It's called where's the address? Gems. It's on Gems, 6734 North Teutonia. It's called Gems. So that's what I want to do, invite people out tonight. I appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. And so were you always like doing this in conjunction with Alderman Rainey? Because that was the person I always connected to Hip Hop Week, or did you kind of assume more of a leadership role on this? What's the deal on who's helping to drive this now?
Yes, thank you for that. This is originated, created, and developed by Alderman Rainey 7 years ago, using hip hop to bring people together. That's the goal, using hip hop to unite the city based on the popularity and its love and support for hip hop. So because of that, we combine concerts and entertainment with empowerment. And the three empowerment components are civic engagement, financial empowerment, and health and wellness. So we've been doing all three of those type of components all week. So this is Alderman Rainey's baby. He retired from politics last year and a half ago. They asked me would I assume the role of leadership of promoting and bringing back Hip Hop Week, and that's what I have been doing in partnership still with Alderman Rainey and Damien Elsey. So he's still around, especially with his passion for hip hop.
So I did pull up the calendar of events. I will run through those because you got events happening Friday and Saturday as well as today. So I'll make sure that I highlight those and see if I can post them. You get it posted here on our website. But thank you for reaching out and making sure that we were aware of it. So I will talk about this before I get off the air.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderman Stanford. Appreciate it.
Keep up the great work. I'll see you soon.
All right now. All right, family. So again, today from 12 to 3 p.m. If you looking for a job, if you know somebody looking for a job, if you know somebody who not looking for a job, but they need to be looking for a job.
Sound like somebody grandmama.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Boy, go over there. They give them their jobs over there.
Because you looking at them in your refrigerator right now.
Or Debo, she could be talking about me and you.
No, we good.
Oh no, you're not. I put out the job announcement over here this morning.
Yeah, we saw that. Heard that.
So that is happening today from 12 to 3 p.m. It is over at the Manpower Group. That address is 100 Manpower Place. You know, that's
just off MLK or back over in there.
Right.
Those Slits Garden back in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So not far from MLK.
Slits Park, yeah.
And then today at 6 p.m., the financial workshop, a real talk workshop on credit, home ownership, and financial myths. That is happening at 6737 North Teutonia. The facility, beautiful facility, 100 Gems. Is it 100 Gems? I think
that's the name of it. 100 Gems.
Beautiful facility. Great place to go. Get this financial literacy education. If you have some young people, at 5 p.m. today, DJ School is going to be doing their thing, and that's at 161 West Wisconsin Avenue, Suite 1000. And then tomorrow, on Friday, a.m. is that 6:15 a.m. Is this right? The Hip Hop and Ride presented by Spin Milwaukee, 309 West Brown Street. So you can register at spinmke.com, and it looks like it's a bike ride at 6:15 in the morning.
More power to the Brown?
Huh?
On 3rd and Brown?
Yeah.
There is no 3rd.
Right.
Well, it says 309 West Brown.
Yeah, that's MLK.
Oh, that's MLK?
You sure?
Yeah. Well, I mean, 309 would be.
But there's still a Brown Street.
On Brown, but it's not.
So it's Brown and MLK.
Correct.
Okay.
Just play on words there.
And then if you are somebody who loves music, tomorrow night at 6:30, Cypress Hill, Atmosphere, Lupe Fiasco, and Farside are going to be over at the rave. And that's at 6:30 tomorrow. I love Lupe Fiasco.
Kick, push.
And this is all a part of what?
All a part of Hip Hop Week for the city of Milwaukee.
Okay.
But I know me and Lupe had a little falling out when he talked slick about Obama. Like, slow your roll, bro, because you're doing a little bit much now. I say you can't criticize him, but he came a little left. But I still love Lupe. And then Saturday, 8 a.m., Hip Hop and Miles, presented by Fear MKE. And this is over at Kumba Juice and Coffee. Not sure what they're doing. Hip Hop and Miles. Like, is we walking? What we doing? And then 2 p.m., the 14th Amendment and You, again, civic engagement happening over at the Wisconsin Black Historical Society, presented by Don Blagrove Esquire, so an attorney of Emancipate, New York. And then 5 p.m., a breakdance battle.
Uh-oh.
Am I available?
No, they're calling you out, Michelle. They're calling you out.
Look, I get hung up
Jermaine.
watching the competitions on Facebook, on social media.
Yeah.
Man, I'll stay up all night watching them competitions.
Did you see the one from the Olympics when the lady did the fish?
Yes, and people was hot.
Oh, they was.
People was hot.
to the point, but that they actually took that out of the Olympics now.
Yeah, because come on now. Come on.
And she actually won.
Yeah.
Like how?
I'm not even.
What is the fish?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see
We'll
that.
have to pull a video up for you.
Oh, Doc. It was the worst. And she won.
And people lost their mind.
She did the fish, bro.
Let me also mention that at 8 p.m. on Saturday, they're doing Cigars and Rhymes. And that is over at 524 North Water Street, presented by Greg Nice. So you got that going on. And let me mention real quickly, on Saturday, everything is happening. 2 to 6, Prince of Missionary Baptist Church and Options Restaurant are giving away school supplies. They're having a fun day, free food, backpacks, school supplies, down south, all of that. 4767 West Hopkins. 4767 West Hopkins, 2 to 6. Backpack giveaway. Great Faith Progressive Missionary Baptist Church. Options Restaurant. All right. This is the second time doing that. No, but I will right after the break. All right. Be right back, y'all. Get that address right for that backpack giveaway.
Amen, Mother Austin. Thank you
Great
for
Faith
that.
Progressive Missionary Baptist Church and the Options Restaurant backpack giveaway is at 4767 North Hopkins Street.
Get it right now.
Not West, North Hopkins.
Get it
She
right.
called in, tapping heads up.
She called in like, right out. God bless you.
What she say? What she say, Dwayne?
She said, right out. No, she didn't say that. She said, this is Mother Austin from the church.
And what?
And the address is. I said, okay, Mother Austin, I'm going to make sure they know.
Get your direction right, baby.
No, but I love Mother Austin.
Get your
man.
directions right.
Church.
She go to your church?
Yeah, she go to Unity now, but Mother Austin, I know
she
you
used
still
to belong
live.
over there.
Yeah, you know, I used to play for Great Faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Benjamin Neighbors was the pastor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I was over there.
Right, baby.
So make sure you ain't sending the folks to
West.
Right.
We going
West
north.
Great no faith.
Because I don't know where West Hopkins is.
Yeah,
we going north. All right. Well, let me do this. Before we get out of here, it's a lot of political stuff I could talk about, but I don't want to. I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, that's bogus.
I want to talk about Colin Kaepernick, ESPN, deciding not to air the documentary on Colin Kaepernick that Spike Lee did. And you know why they don't want to air? Because you ain't trying to kick up that dust. And then Shedeur Sanders, I said it. After he played in the preseason game, put up the numbers that he did, had the performance that he did, people was like, now what? Now what? Told y'all. And one of the things I said, y'all, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Because that would mean that these men have to admit that how they handled him was wrong. They not going to have egg on their face. They not going to say, my bad. They not going to say we didn't collude and collaborate to keep this young brother out of the league or coming into the league at the spot and with the money that he should have came in with. They're not going to do that. You asking people to do something that is not going to happen. Not going to do it. So Shedeur is now ranked 4th out of 5 on the roster with a 40-year-old quarterback in front of him. Only Flacco and old behind Aaron Rodgers coming in that age category. Like this, they got Gabriel in front of Shedeur. This brother is not going to get a fair shake in the NFL. But that news story that talked about now the CEO of Target is stepping down after 11 years. And Target was riding high before this DEI foolishness started, the diversity, equity, inclusion push back on promises, being bullied by the Trump administration and bowing to that pressure. And then the stock drops, the CEO's pay is cut. You know, all these things are happening. And now Dog is on his way out the door. If we were to do what we did to Target, to the NFL, if Browns fans was to boycott the team and their games because of the patent unfairness and setting the team up not to have a winning season, I'm paying money going, knowing that I'm not getting the best product on the field. But for whatever reason, whether it be, you know, I don't like his daddy, racism, white men gonna exert their power over brothers, y'all ain't nothing but some damn workhorses anyway on these fields, whatever it is, the minute we decide to stand collectively to make a point, and we don't need everybody. We just need 80%, 75%, because every black person didn't stop going to Target, but the overwhelming majority of us did. We could change stuff for black men in the NFL. For all you Negroes who sit up and want to holler the minute somebody say something about a brother and you get mad with black women. Y'all disrespect black men. Y'all don't do this for black men, but you let these white boys run over you every day and you keep turning the damn TV on to keep the money in the pocket of the white boys that's clowning other brothers that look like you. But you'll give me hell. Michelle messed over Mandela. You ain't punishing the NFL players that messed over Colin Kaepernick. You ain't punishing the NFL that messes over black men trying to be coaches. You ain't punishing that mess over brothers who get injuries and don't get compensated. You ain't messing over none of them, but you'll come for me, though. You'll raise hell with me. You'll raise hell with black women about how we treat black men, but you won't get these white boys no business on how they treat y'all. You let that sit in for a moment. All we gonna do is sit back and shake our head. Oh, that's just so sad how they treating Shador, and then keep watching the damn games. And you know this boy being treated unfairly. That could be your son, your nephew, your grandbaby. But what you gonna do? You gonna have that damn jersey on? You gonna get in front of that TV on Monday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day the game come on, and we ready. People treat you how you let them treat you. It takes me back to City Hall, what the mayor did with this BS, hiring this dude that is not qualified for that job. I don't care what nobody say. People treat you because the gamble is the mayor and his advisor said they'll be hot for a minute. They'll get over it. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to put me back in office. Ain't nobody going to remember this. It'll blow over. That's what they said. Just like when they put Chief Flynn in the process in the 11th hour. They'll be upset. Just like when Tom Barrett lied and said he wasn't going to get in the race to run for mayor, and Marvin Pratt was in the race, and then here he come and turn the whole thing upside down, and then get black men to come work for him to keep Marvin Pratt from becoming mayor. Oh, the black folks won't stay mad at me for long. They'll be all right. They won't stay mad for long.
You hear that one?
They won't.
My.
You understand?
You preaching this morning, sister.
Y'all let people know they ain't got a long memory. They'll suck it up. They'll throw their arms up and give it to Jesus. You ain't got to worry about them. They're going to turn that damn TV on every Monday, every Sunday, justify in their little brain why it's okay to keep watching a sport that keep messing over their sons. And then come in and talk about the game like it was the best thing since sliced bread. Get them to talk about something else. Like how you stop them from treating our folks like this. When it's our folks that's helping to make the money for the league. I'm just saying. ESPN does not want a documentary about Colin Kaepernick told. Why? 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 It's a special interest story. It's a sports story. What's your adversity or your problem with it being told? Because I don't want to kick that back up. I don't want to piss off the president. I don't want to, upset folks. And we got to get Jay-Z some more money to program the halftime show. Why? I need to keep black people quiet. What the caller say? Michelle, these athletes not doing enough. They could say more. Say more, and what happened? We leave them hanging. As I said that day when the caller called. We keep watching the game. We keep tuning in. We keep buying the sports paraphernalia. We keep the NFL crap on our back. So why am I standing up for you Negroes? You ain't standing up for yourself. All y'all black men gonna do, watching this young boy get messed over, is shake y'all head. That's damn shame the way they doing that boy. That ain't nothing but some racism. Man, what time the next game come on? Who house we watching the game at this week? If we were willing to do to the NFL for one season what we have done to Target, you get people's attention. It don't matter what Donald Trump is talking about. Because they ain't got enough white folks to supplement if we walk away from the league for one season. I'm not asking you to give up football indefinitely. But do something. And it don't cost you nothing. You ain't got to make a donation. You ain't got to scan a barcode. You ain't got to put $5 on it. It don't cost you nothing but to turn the damn TV off. Go kick it with your grandkids. Go educate and read a book to your child. Go read a book for yourself. It don't cost you nothing. But you ain't going to do it. Because it's in your DNA to let the master keep his foot on your damn neck and you go along with the program. But you fool yourself and say, no, that ain't it, Michelle. It's because I like football. No, that's not it, bruh. That's not it, ma'am. You have been conditioned to let people mistreat you and suck it up, except for people who look like you. You have been conditioned to let folks handle you and yours any kind of way, except you're going to shoot me in the street. I better not step on your toe. I better not talk slick. You're going to look at my black face and be ready to hurt me. But these white folks can grab you by the throat and you're going to be just fine. I can't turn off that game, Michelle. You're going to stop asking me to do that. Now, that's sad what's happening to Shador. But Shador rich. His daddy rich. He'll be fine. What about the black boy that ain't rich? What about the black boy that's worked his whole career and don't have a family financial support to fall back on? What about the black men that are trying to be coaches and keep getting played? What about the black men that get injured in the game and they don't want to pay them at all or pay them fairly because the algorithm said that you're not as worth and valuable as a white man? What about that, y'all? What about the blacks in team ownership, the blacks in NFL management? You think that brother showed up at the NFL trying to shoot people just because he had nothing else to do?
Send a message.
To send a message. But we're complicit. We're going back to City Hall. We're going to throw up our hands and we're going to pray. We're going to rally around Adam Procell, a job that no black man with his identical record would be given. They don't want a black man to make $600,000 when he got a master's degree and is squeaky clean. But they'll let somebody else make it. And we, as black folks, we gonna pray for him, Jesus. We gonna wrap our arms around him, Lord. Jermaine got a prayer for him.
Father God.
We gonna put it in God's hands.
We got to bring us an organ in here.
Yeah, Doc, because I'm going to tune on up.
When she tuned, man, I could hear that. Dun, dun.
Yeah, Doc.
And, I'm tired
of being tired.
These damn games. I just heard it, Michelle. It would have been perfect.
I'm just saying.
Get your JJ
saying.
mama on.
All right, I got to go.
Preach, preacher.
So what did Esther say on...
all facts, though, man. All facts.
So what did Esther say?
Glory.
No, what was the other one? Damn.
Esther Rose.
That was Flo.
Florida.
Esther
Rose.
Yeah,
I said Esther.
We was thinking about Esther on...
when you say Esther, we think...
You think you Grand Fox. Sanford's son.
Or both of them.
Look. All right, family. That's a wrap for the show this weekend. Remember, two things. Go over to the church. Lamb of God.
Yeah.
They're giving away cleaning supplies and stuff to help folks that have been impacted by the flood. That is happening. What time did Pastor Boston say?
I'm
10 to 2,
the
something like that.
Run
Listen to the
week.
commercial.
Yeah.
And then make it over to community brainstorming and support that organization and get all the information you can.
4764, was it West Hopkins?
4767
North Hopkins.
Come on, man, you giving us wrong address.
Hey, man, I'm trying to make sure y'all got it right.
No, actually, you gonna send the folks over to my church. They're gonna be watch me over and over and over again in the blood of the Lamb.
Right.
And it ain't gonna be no
backpacks.
Ain't no water over there.
You're gonna be taking up a collection.
That's it. Just a plate.
All right, family. Y'all have a good weekend. Safe weekend. I will see you all. Talk to you all on Monday. Peace. Bye, bruh.
There were soldiers in a revolution.